Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan. And this evening, I bring you the evening headlines. And it reads, Bergwijn to Ajax deal is on. Tottenham are leading the race to sign Leverkusen centre-back Evan Ndicka. Eriksen is set to reject the move to Man United as his preference is to remain in London. Bremer wants to leave Torino, saying it's only a matter of time and he is considering a number of options. And Fabrizio Romano's latest on Jed Spence and a little bit on Troy Parrott and Harry Kane. Before we get into it, if you are liking these news updates and you want to see more of them, smash that like button. We already have 94 in house, so no excuses not to smash it as well. Before I get into the news headlines, feel free, guys, to skip the queue in the chat with a super chat, and I will get to it and hopefully have a good discussion with you. But look, I'll waste no time. I will get absolutely straight into it. And that is a report from Fabrizio Romano, and he is saying, and this was tweeted 2 minutes ago, by the way, that Steven Bergwijn's deal between Ajax and Tottenham is absolutely on. All parties are in control, but is not fully agreed yet. Bergwijn has been Ajax's priority since January, so that is fresh from Fabrizio Romano, tweeted out 2 minutes ago on his Twitter page. And basically, look, with Steven Bergwijn, I think all Spurs fans sort of know what the situation is there. That, look, he's stated a number of times, especially last on international duty, giving an interview saying that he does want to leave Tottenham in order to get first-team football. The World Cup slap bang in the middle of the season as well, only around the corner. I think we all know he wants out of Tottenham in order to go out and get first-team football. So it does look like he is on his way to Ajax. Now, interestingly enough, it was reported yesterday that Spurs maybe were also interested in Ajax winger Antony. So it'd be very, very interesting to see if maybe a deal could be agreed there to maybe pull him the other way. As we know, he is a Man United target as well, and they've been trying to pursue him more or less all summer long. So it'd be nice to be able to steal him off their hands. Look, for me, I think we will have to offer Bergwijn maybe plus cash if we do want to get Antony. So it'll be very interesting to see whether it's a straightforward Bergwijn pay, what we were looking for, which was reported to be in the region of 25 to 30 million, or whether they are interested in maybe letting Antony come the other way. Now, with Antony, as I stated yesterday, he might actually prefer to go to Man United with Ten Hag there, because he was the guy that kind of helped shape his career at Ajax, and maybe he might see Ten Hag as the ideal man to shape the next step in his career. So be interested to see what happens there, but that is fresh off the press from Fabrizio Romano. Now, the next news we will get into is Tottenham are leading the race for Evan Ndicka, the Leverkusen centre-back. And basically what the state of play is here, guys. 1 second, I'll just get it up. Basically, it was an article according to French outlet Foot Mercato. Tottenham are leading the race to sign highly rated Frankfurt centre-back Ndicka. Marseille are also keen on the 22-year-old. The League One side will need to replace William Saliba, who has returned to Arsenal following a loan spell at Marseille last season. Ndicka does have 1 year left on his contract with Frankfurt, but they will be able to offer him Champions League football next season and are keen on trying to extend his contract to try and keep him, or at least to be able to try and command a fee for his services. But negotiations have stalled, so that does put Tottenham in the driving seat now. He is a left. So who is Evan Ndicka, for anybody out there that doesn't know? He's a left-footed French centre-back who has scored 4 goals last season. He also played a huge role in helping Frankfurt win the Europa League, of course, beating Rangers in the final. This deal now, for me, in my opinion, is definitely doable and one to keep an eye on over the coming days. With We Are Tottenham TV also tweeting out earlier on, I'm not sure whether they know something behind the scenes or not, but also saying it was their understanding that we were also in the race for this guy. Now, look, for me, he's obviously not our #1 choice here. I think everybody will agree with me on that. He's nowhere near the #1 choice. It's sort of, in my opinion, a bit disappointing considering the names we have been linked with, like a Bastoni, a Pau Torres. But at the end of the day, we do need competition for Ben Davies over at left-sided centre-back, and he will definitely be an option to be able to play there and probably will be able to play centre-back, maybe cover for Dyer as well. But at the end of the day, as Antonio Conte has stated, he wants to compete on all fronts this season. So in order to do that, we have to have strength in depth and quality at our disposal, because we will have to rotate players here and there. We'll have to be able to navigate the season. Let's not forget we have a World Cup slapped right in the middle of the season. So we will need a big squad to be able to compete. So, look, even though he's not our first choice centre-back or our first choice left-sided centre-back to compete with Davies, he will be cheap as he has 1 year left in his contract, and we will have to get somebody in regardless. So if we can't get Bastoni, which it's not looking likely, if we can't get Pau Torres, which is looking like he actually doesn't want to come to Tottenham, well, then we have to get somebody, and hopefully this guy could be a cheap alternative until our longer-term targets become available. Let me know in the chat, guys, what you think of this Evan Ndicka deal. I will take a few comments. I'm miles behind, guys. I'm not used to doing these streams on my own. As you can see, maybe a bit nervous. William Kelly says, seems everything's a smokescreen, Ben. Big up, King Huddle. Good to see you in the house. Christoph Martin as well. Great to see you. Mr. Edwardson, good to see you, my man. Jazz Fusion, can you smell what the Kaufman is cooking? Great to see you. Same as Star as Mars. Great to see you, my man. Big up, Kuva99, he says, Evan Ndicka will be a fantastic signing. He literally ticks every box we're looking for, including playing with a very attacking left wing back inside him in Kostic. I was sure he was heading to PSG, though. Well, according to reports today, Kuva, he is, Tottenham are leading the race, although the French club that has been reported to be interested in him is Marseille. Like I said, Saliba was on loan there last season. He's now gone back to Arsenal, so they'll be looking to fill that spot, and this could be their guy. But look, with Tottenham, we can offer Champions League football. We're in the best league in the world in Premier League. So I would say we probably do have the pulling power over someone like Frankfurt and Marseille, you would like to think. The reason why I say it's disappointing is, like, look, we all had our heart sets on Bastoni, maybe Pau Torres, these exotic names, you know. With this guy, Evan Ndicka, he's kind of only really sort of come onto the scene this year and has had a very good season for Leverkusen, or for Frankfurt, you know, and of course he was a part of the side that they ended up winning the Europa League as well. But for me, it is disappointing because I did want someone like Pau Torres, my man. But big up, Kuva, good to see you in the building. But look, guys, we will keep moving on. Where will we go next? I think we'll go to Christian Eriksen. Guys. 1 second. So the reports today, and this was according to the Athletics, Charlie Eccleshare and Jack Pitbrook, that Christian Eriksen is set to reject a move to Manchester United, as it is his preference to stay in London. And this comes off the back of strong rumours linking Tottenham and Man United to Eriksen this week. He is at present a free agent and has a concrete offer on the table from Brentford to renew his contract, but is still undecided on his future. Now, it has been reported that Brentford are becoming a little bit frustrated that Eriksen hasn't decided to renew his contract. He even had a dinner with Thomas Frank this week. Thomas Frank saying that they did have good discussions, but still hasn't announced his future. Now, this is a player, guys, that I have actually had to change my mind on. I was really actually disappointed in the way that he left the club, pursuing for his move to Inter Milan. And I wouldn't say that he downed the tools, but he wasn't giving his all for us on the football pitch. He was a long way off the standard of the player that we have seen from this guy in previous seasons. But after recovering from the cardiac arrest that he suffered with Denmark over the summer, he had a very good second half to the season after signing a 6-month contract in January with Brentford, of course, scoring once and assisting 4 times in 11 Premier League games. He also continued his tradition of destroying Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. He was a massive part of that big win there for Brentford, but also was a massive reason why Brentford did stay up. He has also improved his set-piece taking ability, which was very evident against us. It seemed like nearly every single one of his set pieces were on the money. And I'm not sure whether that's because he's improved his set pieces or actually because we just cannot compete from set pieces, because as we know, we concede an awful lot of goals from set pieces here at Tottenham Hotspur, and we have done since Jose Mourinho's time. So, but he will provide a bit of quality from them set pieces because we lack quality. We don't take enough advantage of our own set pieces in terms of attacking corners and free kicks. So hopefully Eriksen can come back and provide that, even though he could barely beat a first man from the corner before he left. But part of me thinks he was probably reserving himself and he didn't really want an injury, knowing that he was out of Tottenham at the summer. Now, when you look at our current midfield option, guys, Bentancur is a ball player. He's a player that likes to he's always putting himself in positions to receive the ball, always willing to take the ball, and he gets on the ball. And what he does is he holds possession in a deeper position. He operates more between our midfield and the back line, picks up the ball. But what he does like to do is he gets it to the likes of Harry Kane. He is the connection between that back line and that forward line, which we were missing when we had Harry Winks in there. And Bentancur has come in and done that job brilliantly. You look at Højbjerg, such a destroyer, just goes around laying in challenges after challenges after challenges, has also picked up his game in terms of the passing department. Towards the end of the season was picking up his game in terms of getting forward. But we don't have that creative player. You also look at Ollie Skip, really, really incredibly hard-working player. But I was saying this on the Trees Room podcast last night. For me, the only reason why he actually finds himself in and around the Spurs team and as actually a starter before he went out injured was because of the lack of quality we actually had in midfield. Ndombele, Lo Celso, Dele Alli didn't want to be here. Harry Winks, we all know about him, what his flaws are. He's absolutely crap. So he found himself catapulted into a position because he only had Højbjerg and Winks to compete with. And his career should never have really accelerated that fast at Tottenham. He should have been coming into Tottenham competing for his position. So hopefully now, this will do Ollie Skip the world of good, having these professionals around him, but also the competition. Now we've signed Bissouma. I like to call him Bamusa after Moussa Dembele. He's a ball-carrying midfielder. Again, another great option to have in that midfield. Picks up the ball, a bit like Moussa Dembele used to do. Take 2-3 players out the game. Marauding forward, across Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Absolutely beautiful sight. Taking 3 players out the team. If you couldn't pass through them, then Moussa Dembele would just run through them. And that's what Bissouma gives us. But out of all them options, we still lack that creative midfielder. That midfielder that can actually operate in more advanced areas. That picks up them pockets of space between the opposition's midfield and their backline. Well, that's what Christian Eriksen could give us. Someone that could get in them areas, pick up the ball, get turned and play. Play left, play right, play in behind for Kane. But also it means you can keep Harry Kane up front, a bit like what we've done under Pochettino. Have him on the defender's shoulder. If the game calls for someone like Christian Eriksen, instead of getting Harry Kane, who you're looking to be your target man, you're looking to kind of hit him and for him to finish off the moves. Instead of having him back in midfield, you'll actually have him where he's supposed to play. And we also need someone that can actually carry goals, a goal threat from outside the box. And we've seen with Christian Eriksen, he can score goals from outside the box. He carries a lot of long-range efforts in his locker as well. So he will definitely help provide a bit more creativity, more goals coming from the midfield area as well. And for me, we'll actually complete our midfield options going into next season. That we actually look at our midfield. If Conte wants to play 2, if Conte wants to play a 3, it doesn't matter. We have every single option available. Remember, I said a destroyer, a hard worker, a ball player, a ball carrier, and Eriksen would just top it off by being that creative player. And he would, again, provide much needed competition. But Conte then also has the availability of being able to pick his players, depending on the circumstances, depending on the opposition. But he also has the ability, if the game is not working in the middle of the park, to be able to change it from the bench. He did not have that last season. He did not want to use Harry Winks. Harry Winks was only really brought on when we were in a commanding position. Bentancur was put out there 50% fit for a couple of games. We can't keep doing that. We ended the season on 14 fit senior outfield players. So we need the strength in depth. So bringing in Christian Eriksen would actually be a huge plus, to our options and to this campaign. Ellie here with the super sticker. Big up, Ellie. I'm just going to check and see what that super sticker is. 1 second, I'm on my own. I'm running solo today. It is Jack's birthday, by the way. Actually, I forgot to say a big happy birthday to Jack. That's why I am running solo today, because Jack is out celebrating his birthday. Let me see what the super sticker is from Ellie, and she's just giving me a love. Big up, Ellie. I really do appreciate it. Really love that. I really do appreciate it. Anyone else, feel free to get your super chats in, show your support, and just stop me from rambling and talking. We'll take a few comments from the comment section, see how people are doing. Mr. Edwardson says, how old is Jack? I actually don't know. I actually do not know. It's bad of me, but I do not know. He has told me before. I just do not know. We have Jack Mole. Karen says, hi, Dave. You're doing a great job. However, the job and transfer windows are far from over. Big up also to Ellie. She is a good talker on the mighty Tottenham. Cannot wait to go back home in August. Big up, Jack. Really appreciate the kind words. Big up, Marcus. Well, my man, great to see you in the building. We also have Matty Hayes in the house. Big up, Matty. Patrick Slater, Emily Dunn, Moondog, Chris, Craig Weaver. Big yourself up. Great to see everybody. Scott Beercroft as well. Guys, if you are enjoying what I am doing here, feel free to keep smashing that like and that subscribe button. So there is my thoughts on Christian Eriksen. Guys, let me know in the chat what your thoughts are on Christian Eriksen. I think he'd be a very, very good option for Tottenham. Moondog says, happy birthday to Jack, and you are doing great, Dave. Really appreciate that, my man. Really appreciate the kind words. Big up, Moondog, and the support, guy. Really, really do appreciate that, my man. We also have Batter THFC. Big up, David. Big up, my man. Great to see you. Eamon Burns, number 3, Ireland Spurs fan. Big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. And we also have Dan Coys, says, massive happy birthday to Mr. Jack Kanicki. Come on, you Spurs. And big up Zoe as well. Big up Dan, my man. I really do appreciate the support. But I think the next bit of news we will get onto is Bremer's come and get me plea. So let me just get onto that now, guys. So 1 second. Where are we? Yes, here we are. Christian Bremer in an interview with ESPN via FC Internews. Bremer said, I told the coach and the management I want to change now. So they told me, stay this year, help us. Next year, you can take the next step. The fans already know that I have the desire to play in the Champions League, to go there to earn a call up to the Brazilian national team. I need to play at a much better level, so I think it's a matter of time. I'm analyzing some proposals, but I think the next season I will no longer play for Torino. Now, one of them proposals on the table, as we know, is from Inter Milan, and it is believed that they do have an agreement in place for quite some time now. It is also being reported, though, that rivals AC Milan and then Tottenham and Chelsea are all interested in his services. Now, you ask, David, what is holding up Bremer's deal to Inter? And I knew someone would ask this, so I went and got you the answers. Inter are looking for Bremer to replace Milan Skriniar, who has been heavily linked with a move to PSG. But Torino have slapped a 50 million price tag on the player, and Inter cannot meet their valuation of Bremer, who are holding out for as much as they can. It is believed that Inter are also trying to include a couple of players to bridge the gap with cash and players to meet that 50 million valuation. As we know, Inter do need to sell in order to conduct their transfer business this summer. And I know you're going to ask me, so David, where does Tottenham fit in all of this? Well, let me tell you. Well, according to Turin-based newspaper Tutto Sport, Tottenham director of football, Don Fabio Paratici, was poised to discuss the move during a visit from Torino director Davide Vagnati this week. So that's where the interest in Bremer comes from for Tottenham. Now, look, I do have my own thoughts on this, so I will give them. Actually, first, before I do, some people out there may ask me, who is Bremer? So let me tell you. He is Brazilian, 25-year-old, right-footed centre-back, and has been at Torino for 4 years since arriving from Brazilian side Atlético Mineiro. So will probably play in the middle of a back three, given dire competition. He also won Serie A Defender of the Year last season, just like Romero did when we signed him. Bremer also ranked in the 99th percentile for successful pressures, passes blocked, and interceptions last season. For me, if Inter won't negotiate for Bastoni, well then fuck them. Let's go and take their player that they have lined up as their replacement for Milan Skriniar. Let's screw their transfer business up. And look, we also need competition for Eric Dyer. Now, I know a lot of people may not want to talk about this, but we have to. For as much of a good season as he has had last season, we have no depth in that position, or no one pushing him basically to maintain his level or to even go on again and reach another level. I don't want this guy getting complacent, getting static, because I've heard Gary Neville says it. Expression said it on his best of enemies with Robbie. You know, that he was speaking to Ashley Young, and that he said about Conte that players can only last so long playing Conte's way because it is so intense. So it's important that we do keep fresh in the squad for as long as this guy is here. And that's why we need to bring in competition for Eric Dyer. Plus, I also said it's Conte's desire to compete on all fronts next season, which means we need to be able to rotate. We can't keep throwing Dyer out there every single game. Sanchez is not good enough, in my opinion. He will cost us. We've seen it time and time again with this guy. And we also can't be blind to Dyer's flaws either. He's not great at defending set pieces early. He's very, very, very seldom the first player to actually go and meet that ball. Emerson was doing a great job of it last year. He turns his back on shots, and at times he's very, very slow on the ball, taking 6, 7, 8 touches against low block teams. When that's a dream for them, they're sitting back with their arms folded with a cigar in their mouth on a rocking chair. You know, that's what they want. So we need someone that's going to make this guy think that he can't slack off. He can't get complacent, and that, you know, he will have to keep on his game and keep doing things the right way. We need competition. Eric Dyer will also benefit from someone hunting down his starting spot, hunting down his jersey. We can also offer Bremer Champions League football and an opportunity to play in the best league in the world and put him in the spotlight for that Brazil call-up that he so badly wants. We have to remember there's a World Cup right around the corner as well. So this guy is going to come in here very, very, very hungry. He will want to nail down the starting spot very, very quickly with the World Cup coming up. So we will get a player that will be ready on all fronts for sure. And I think it'd be a very good signing. I know a lot of people like this. And look, let's continue the tradition of signing the Serie A Player of the Year. Let's just keep continuing that tradition because it's working out. Italians have, for as long as I've been alive, as long as my outlad has been alive, and probably his outlad, you know, that Italians are well renowned for defending. It's their gift to football. They also over there, they drill defending into their players. Every single Italian player, any player that's gone over there and has come through the system or at an Italian club, they know how to defend. It's what they're renowned for worldwide. So let's get this guy in. He's had a good rise, been in Serie A for 4 years, won Italian Serie A, Defender of the Year, 99 percentile in possession. What was it? 99 percentile in interceptions, intercepting passes and tackles, I think it was, or successful pressures, passes blocked, and interceptions last season. So for me, it was a bit like Romero with all his 99 percentile. As you know, Jack, he done one before Romero come in, showing what he was very, very good at. And hopefully this guy can do the same. But he will, again, he can also be backup for Romero, or not even backup. But for instance, how many times was Romero, between the start of the season and the January transfer window, out, injured, niggly little things, return late from international duty, even though it had nothing to do with him. And so if that happens again, we can't keep relying on Davinson Sanchez. Now, with Davinson Sanchez, people keep remembering the last 3 games of the season he had and the first 3 games of the season he had. Great. He's proven he can come in for 3 games. But I'm talking about an 8, 9, 10 game period. Sanchez was awful in that period, also playing Europa Conference League games, running around like Bambi on ice, couldn't control a football, couldn't pass a football, balls dropping in over his head. Emerson looked absolutely awful defensively. As soon as Romero comes in, Emerson is sound defensively. So, I mean, we can't keep relying on these people who have let us down time and time again because they've been here 4 or 5 years. Forget the sentiment. We need to improve this back line. It's a big issue. It's one of the issues that Conte said needs to be done. So, if we can, try and get Bremer in. It's not going to be an easy deal, though. And let me tell you why. Because it has been reported, it was reported that Gianluca Di Marzio said on Friday that Chelsea have tabled an important proposal for Bremer. So we face very stiff competition for Bremer, and it will be hard to get that deal done because we face competition from Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Chelsea. Just hopefully that he doesn't want to be a part of Chelsea. He doesn't want to go to the posh side. He doesn't want to be anywhere near them, and he actually wants to come to Tottenham because, look, it would suit him more. He's an animal. He's working class. Tottenham would suit him more, in my opinion. Ellie Yates says, doing a grand job going solo, David. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Ellie Yates. Really do appreciate the kind words. Top women. You guys' compliments, they're feeding my ego. You're getting me more and more warmed into this. I promise the more of these I do, the better I'll get. But big up, Ellie. Absolutely love that. Really appreciate that. Everyone, if you are enjoying it, keep smashing that like. Keep smashing that subscribe button. But big up, Ellie. As Craig Weaver says, F Chelsea. Exactly my thoughts, my man. So, look, let's take some more comments. Kuva99 says, I think signing a smoke screen is a good idea. They can't score if they can't see. Big up, Kuva. Big up, my man. Oh, legend. Chris Ennis, 62. Big up, Dave the Yiddo. Big up, Chris Ennis, my man. Really appreciate the kind words. Faz Radfar says, great job, David. Robin 670 says, status on Bergwijn to Ajax. Yeah, I'll just give it to you quickly. 1 second, I'll just go back up to the top of my notes. And the reason why I was actually late is because this came out. Could you believe it? I timed it perfectly. I mean, we were live when Tottenham announced Basuma yesterday as well. So, I mean, honestly, luck is on my side. Hopefully it comes in trees and I win the lotto. But the latest on Bergwijn, like I said, Fabrizio Romano tweeted around 9:45 this evening. That Steven Bergwijn's deal between Ajax and Tottenham is absolutely on. All parties are in contact, but the deal is not fully agreed yet. And Bergwijn has been Ajax's priority since January. So, Robin, it looks set that deal will happen, my man. Jay, I just come off Christian Eriksen. Reported by The Athletic that he is set to reject Manchester United, my man, as his preference is to stay in London. Tyler D says, Dave, Bremer, a Paratici smokescreen for Bastoni. Look, it very well could be. Very well could be. At the end of the day, it might actually twist the arm. Do you know, like when you're a child and there's always on the estate one guy that's bigger than everybody else, bit of a bully, gets your arm, twists it up your back. Well, that's what we need to do with this deal. Just basically say, okay, we can't have Bastoni. Oh, we can't. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you want Bremer? Okay, well, Bremer's on his way to Tottenham. Now do you want to talk? That's what we need to do here. Act like a big club. Force the ram. Absolutely strong arm them, my man. Could very well be, but we could very well be actually very, very interested in Bremer. And like I said, Italian Serie A Defender of the Year, just like Romero when we signed him. So I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it works out in our favor. That's all I can say. Big up Tyler D, my man. Really, really appreciate the support, buddy. Who else have we got in the chat? Let me see. Everybody, keep getting your opinions on what I'm saying. Akash Grewal says, Kostic update, Kim Min-jae and Bale. Don't have them, my man. I don't have them updates. I'm only reporting on the updates that were put out today. Ellie says, now for Winks to go. Send him on his way. Look, it's about time, but I'm actually not shocked, Ellie, that we are struggling to sell this guy. I'm just not shocked. Look, how many midfielders how much money have we thrown on that position during this guy's tenure at Tottenham Hotspur? Now, look, I'm not going to go in on Harry Winks. We all know what his flaws are, but we kept shelling out money. We haven't looked to sold him. Now we are. Honestly, he was that awful last season. No wonder why clubs are struggling to take him. Now, look, there's been various reports out there that this club is interested, that club's interested. He has a number of suitors. But for me, if I was a manager, Winks wouldn't be in my top 5, let alone my top 10. Now, what I would say is I think that's a smokescreen to try and lure some interest into Harry Winks. That if there is anybody out there thinking about it, that they just get sucker punched, knee-jerk reaction straight in for him. But he's got to go. Big up, Ellie. Really appreciate the comment. William Kelly, my brother, really appreciate the support. Tune in all the way from down under. What's that song? I can't remember. I'll sing it to you one day, though, William. He says, look what Conte did with the likes of Dyer, Davies, Sanchez. Now imagine what he could do with the likes of Bremer, Bastoni, or Torres in defence. We would be the Berlin Wall of defence. Let's build that wall. Look, William Kelly, what I will say is, me and Jack, we've done a comparison on Bastoni, and we were looking at his stats. So we compared his defensive stats and his ball-playing stats with Ben Davies, who he will be coming in to either provide competition to or replace. And look, in the defensive stats, I'll be honest, they're a bit give and take. Maybe you'd say Davies slightly better, but they're not much better. Not much better whatsoever. But the passing stats, his ball-playing stats, blow Ben Davies out of the water. And the reason why I say we need improvement with someone like a Bastoni, a Pau Torres, Bremer will end up more playing a centre-back, or if Romero's out injured, on the right side of the tree. But with Pau Torres, especially Bastoni, the reason why I say we need him is, look, yes, Davies had a great campaign. Keep him at the club. But he also needs competition to help push him, hopefully, to a new level. We have to remember, Dyer and Davies have been in obscurity for some time before this season, before Conte got the most out of these guys. Now, with Bastoni, he offers a similar passing range to what Toby Alderweireld had. He can go short, he can go medium, he can go in behind for Sonny, Kane, Kulusevski. Not only that, he can also get down the wing, put crosses into the box himself. We've seen at times Ben Davies, getting into more advanced areas, but not really having that technical ability. He does have his flaws in that area, and bringing in someone like Bastoni, again, even if you don't like me saying replacing Ben Davies, but rotation for Ben Davies, because there will be games like the lower block teams, like Brighton and Brentford last season, I use those prime examples, that Bastoni can come in and provide that extra bit of quality on the ball from the back line that is able to maneuver it into areas that Ben Davies physically cannot do, that his talent restricts him to do. So he'd be a massive plus in that regard, in my opinion. And look, at the end of the day, as good as a season as everybody has had at Tottenham, even Harry Kane and some, but they find themselves in a position that they're best in the world, so you can't get better. But yes, Davies and Dyer got us to Champions League football. Sanchez, if you want to throw him in there, but at the end of the day, we still have to look to improve. We can't rest on our laurels. We've been screaming for a long time now for us to go after quality players, quality defenders, and get them into Tottenham. So we cannot rest on our laurels and keep defending Dyer and Davies. They need competition just as much as Harry Kane needs competition. That's why we're looking at Richarlison, Lautaro Martinez. Everyone in this squad needs competition. We were bare tin come the end of the season. We get caught out again. We also have to remember we didn't have an injury to Harry Kane this season, which we usually get. So we were lucky in that regard. Yes, we have had a fair share of injuries, but that's going to keep continuing, especially since the players have had to now play 4 games off the back of a long Premier League, off the back of a long season, which they played the Euros before off the back of another long season. They then have 16 games before the World Cup. They then have the World Cup, and then they're playing right through until May. So these players will be going non-stop. It's a heavy season. We need the numbers in here at Tottenham. But big up William Kelly. Really appreciate the support, my man. Big yourself up, brother. Let me see who else have we got in the comments here. Let me see who else. Shamu Van Spurs says 70 million is too much for Gvardiol. For me, his quality, but most I'd pay is 50. He's still raw. He's only been there 1 season at Leipzig. I really like the guy, don't get me wrong. But that's why it's going to cost such a bomb to get him out, because he has so long left on his contract. I'll be honest, this one is a smoke screen. I'm going to stick my neck out on the line. There's no way, and I hope to dash people's dreams, but there's no way we're getting Gvardiol out of Leipzig for the money that it's going to cost. It's just not going to happen. He's only been there 1 year as well. But big up Shamu, my man. Really appreciate the comment, brother. Let me see, what else have we got here for you today? I think we'll move a bit on to Jed Spence. Of course, I give the latest on him, guys. And that is, it was reported by Fabrizio Romano earlier on today. Again, he tweeted out that there will be no negotiations this weekend. Tottenham are really interested since March, but still no official bid. New direct contacts expected next week. Right back and centre back are the two priority for Spurs in the market. So look, we can have a Jed Spence free weekend. No negotiations tomorrow. So, because I'll be honest, I'm getting to the point where I'm actually sick of talking about it. It seems like it's been happening, and no progress. Now, don't get me wrong. I know we got called up into the England under-21 camp. Fair play to him. So he's played some internationals there. And now he's on holidays. But hopefully now no more Jed Spence chat until after the weekend, because there will be no negotiations. Now, in terms of an official bid, we can take this one two ways. Now, look, for me, what I will say is that with someone like Middlesbrough who, look, let's face it, they're going to have to sell him. There's been a lot of interest in Jed Spence. And by the way, it was also reported yesterday on Jed Spence that anyone else that is interested, it really doesn't matter because his preferred destination is Tottenham Hotspur. But with Jed Spence, with the bid situation, with someone like Middlesbrough, where we're trying to get a nice deal, maybe get him for about 15 million euros, we're going to play nice. We're going to negotiate with them before we actually put an official bid in. Because if we put an official bid in, we're going to negotiate with them before we put an official bid. And when we do put the official bid in, it'll be an agreed price, already agreed before the official bid goes in. The reason why we're not just going to go and put in an official bid, because if it's not what they want, we piss them off, and then they're going to add another 10 million on to their price just because of what we done going behind the back. So we are trying to show them a bit of good faith by negotiating with them before an official bid is made. But you could also look at it and say, is this a smokescreen? The reason have we not put in a bid, because there's somebody else out there we are looking at and we're monitoring quietly, or that this is out there to be a distraction for someone that we actually may have staying at Tottenham Way, just like we did with Yves Bissouma, which, by the way, that kind of, just quickly on Yves Bissouma, it kind of shows why the money invested into the training complex at Hotspur Way and the hotel kind of benefits us and helps us, and it's helped us in this situation, because if you go back to Willian, famous one, he went off to his hotel, next day he's signing somewhere else. Whereas we kept Bissouma at our hotel in Hotspur Way, couldn't go anywhere. So we kept him there, making sure he will sign. So absolutely brilliant in that regards, and also kept him there the night before him doing his medical as well. So it just means that nobody else could kind of meet him secretly to try and tempt him. It was also reported today that United rang looking for him, but it was too late. The deal was also was agreed with Tottenham. So again, you got to give Tottenham credit for being ahead of the curve, for getting in there nice and early, getting that deal done, which is not what we're known for. Again, just goes to highlight our aggressive approach to this transfer window so far. But with Jed Spence, like I said, you could also take it that maybe we are looking at another target. Let me see what else I've got in my bag for you guys today. Yeah, two last bits of news, basically. Just sort of bits and pieces I wanted to bring up. Not actually anything that's, going to send shivers down your spine or make the hairs on your neck stand up or even give you a hard on if that's what you want to say. Nothing like that. Before we get into it, though, Moondog says, I really don't rate Spence. He's average at best. Well, look, what I will say, Moondog, is if this guy signs, he's going to cause various opinions across the fan base, in my opinion. Look, people are well in their right to think he's average at best. It's not a contest signing. I get all of that. I totally get all of that. But what Jed Spence will bring for me is, look, what I've said this a number of times over the last couple of days. There's loads of different pieces that make up a team. And having some young, hungry players in there chasing down an experienced player for his jersey, what it does is elevates that player to a new level, keeps him on his toes, keeps him working hard, and keeps him at a level that he won't drop below. But in the other case, if he does drop below it, well, then this guy goes in and he takes his opportunity. And there's different pieces to having a team. That's why Højbjerg, even though reports come out today saying maybe Højbjerg could be gone, I believe a journalist came out and retracted it, saying I actually took that line out of my statement because it's not true. It was never going to be true. Do you know why? Because I've done my homework. The guys are part of the leadership group at Tottenham Hotspur. You know, Antonio Conte, Jose Mourinho loves him. The guy's played virtually every game for club and country for the last 2 seasons. Played 36 games last season. Came off early twice in 2 of them, completed 34 90 minutes. Season before, completed 38 90 minutes. Played 50 games last season under Conte. Only one bettered by Ben Davies, who's played 51, but Højbjerg actually played more minutes than him. So he'll never go anywhere. But look, with Spence, I get it. But this guy has also had a meteoric rise. He was in the same youth team at Croydon as Emil Smith-Can't-Robo and as Wan-Bissaka as well. He was the last one drafted out of that team to get into an academy. Every single season through the academies, he's had to go away over the summer, over the downtime, stay behind, do extra work to improve himself, to be able to get that contract, to keep going in them academies. He was in the Fulham Academy for a while, same academy as Ryan Sessegnon, who so many people love. He then got his move to Middlesbrough. Whatever happened there, he was out of favour. They loaned him to Nottingham Forest. Nobody knew who he was at the start of this season. Suddenly, by the end of the season, he's in Championship Team of the Year. He's got an England under-21 call-up completely out of the blue, nowhere near the setup. And now he's on his way to the Premier League. He cannot be that bad. He's had a good... I've watched this guy sporadically through the campaign. And from a majority of what I've seen, he's a good player. He's an option that maybe we don't have at wing-back and the right-hand side right now, which is someone that'll get on the ball, knock it by his man and beat it. And Jed Spence is physical as well. He's strong. He can take contact while running. Now, look, he's by no means the end product. What will let him down is his actual end product, a bit like Emerson. But he's a player we can work with. We have to remember, we got in Kyle Walker, Danny Rose, both at young age. One from Leeds, one from Sheffield United, brought them into the team, or brought them into Tottenham Hotspur, loaned them out and developed them into the sort of player that we wanted to develop them to. We're always going to have one eye on the future. Look at some of the signings in terms of staff members we're after making. Greta Steinson signed a lot of the young players that Everton were bringing in back at a time. Andy Skolden, a lot of the young players that formed Rangers run to the Europa League final, which is not very common for Scottish teams to do. What's his name? Simon Davies, head of methodology over the academy, which basically is basically what his role is he will he's there to instill like culture. Basically, whatever the senior team is doing is to replicate that down the years, you know, to be able to give every player the best sort of chance to be able to get into a Tottenham first team from the academy. Basically, it's showing them what the Tottenham way is. And Jed Spence as well, we have to remember, like, we can develop him in under-23 games this season. If he's not playing in the first team, he can play in the under-23s team until he is ready. But for me, we'll always have one on the future, so I wouldn't write that off. I get it, not a contest signing Moondog, but I wouldn't write Jed Spence off. Every club, you look at City brought Alvarez, one for the future. Arsenal have signed a couple, ones for the future. You know, Real Madrid do it from Brazil a lot of the times as well, signing in players for the future. There's always a part of your transfer window that you're going to have one eye on the future. That's just the way the football business is. Everyone wants to try and have the next world beater. Everyone wants to have players coming through from their academy. Everyone doesn't want to keep spending 50, 60, 70, 30, 40 million, keep trying to replace that position. You've looked what we've done since Kyle Walker has left. The amount of money we've spent trying to get someone in that position and hasn't really worked out. That's why we have one eye on Jed Spence, that hopefully a couple of years down the line, we don't have to fork out any more money on that sort of position. So for me, I get what people are saying, but I wouldn't write it off yet. Tottenham Tantrum, go with the super sticker. Big up, Dermot, my man. Let me know. Not let me know, my man. Just give me 1 second. I just have to go into the YouTube and see what it is because it doesn't show me on the streaming platform that we use, StreamYard. 1 second, Dermot. I'll leave it with me, my man. And it is just basically bravo. Really appreciate that, Dermot. Really appreciate that, my man. He's just giving me, he's a happy clapper. Big up, Dermot. Dermotron. Big up, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. Everyone else, There's 461 in-house. Absolutely unbelievable. There's more tuning into me on my own than there is when I have massive panel shows and everything else. If you are enjoying what I am doing here right now and you want to see a lot more of them, and by the way, I'm nearly finished as well. If you want to see a lot more of them, though, smash that like button. Actually, you don't even have to smash it. Just give it a little love tap if you want to, a little press. Also, that subscribe button as well. Big push for 7K is on before the season starts. Let's see how close we can get there. But as well, guys, just two last bits to bring you. One specifically for the Ireland fans and Ireland and Tottenham fans. The other one specifically just for me because I love the guy, but also for New Yorkers. Which would be, I know you're going to say, Dave, what you're going to tell us. We'll wait until you see an absolute doozy. And I hope Jack does me a favor by getting down to where this guy will be and getting me his signature. But guys, we are coming to an end. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to drop your super chats in. With any sort of questions, talking points, I'll be happy to sit here and discuss them. But the last couple bits of news I do have for everybody is, just give me 1 second there. 1 second there is, this is a picture from Troy Parrott's, what is it, Instagram, guys, and he is working extra hard in a training camp in Mykonos. I believe that is in Greece, guys. He's at a performance training center getting in extra work before the pre-season. Now, hopefully what this means is that Troy Parrott is actually gearing up for a massive season. Hopefully this can be his breakthrough campaign. Philip, Dermot, Ollie, guys that have been to the Ireland games, that we've watched every single Ireland game. Paddy Harnett out there. I was going to say Matt Hayes, but Matt Hayes, he seems to only watch one game a year when it comes to Ireland. But to the Ireland fans out there, we've seen how good he's starting to be at international level, how much of a game changer he is going forward. He's been direct, running at teams, getting crosses in, very assured on the ball, scoring some goals as well. He's been working hard at MK Dons, gaining player of the month as well, bagging double figures for them this season. So no matter where Troy Parrott goes, I'm predicting this could be a breakout campaign for him where he really gets his head down, he works hard, he bags the goals and puts himself in the frame for maybe potentially coming back to Spurs next summer, which would be absolutely awesome. Also, he doesn't have too much remaining on his contract. That could also be why he's working hard. He might want some nice lucrative offers coming in, but interest in that as well. This is for all you guys from New York out there. And then actually I'll get into a bit of a rumor that I think potentially is a bit of bullshit. But this is to all you guys out there. This is about Harry Kane. For all the USA fans, including Jack, all the way, who lives in New York, Harry Kane will be in New York at the end of June. Now, if I was living there, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be down there in my tent, screaming, shouting, fangirling until he arrives. But he is taking part in an Icon Series event at the Liberty National Golf Course. Kane will be playing on a rest of the world team against USA in a Ryder Cup style format. As you can see, very excited. So I encourage all USA fans to try and get down there and get a glimpse of Harry Kane. Nick says, where's Dave's Egre? I don't know what that means, Nick. I don't know whether that's a misspelling. You've had a couple of cans. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, my man. But big up, Nick. Put it in the comments. Clarify for it, my man. Clarify. But, Nick, you also live there. If you could get down, get me a signature or strand of hair, that would be absolutely awesome. Maybe get a little interview for the Irish Hotspur channel. That'd be even 10 times better. Maybe a little statement even. I endorse the Irish Hotspur. That would be absolutely beautiful. So, Nick, maybe we can get on it and see what you can do, my man. Absolutely love that. Now, guys, one rumor I have seen today, which, look, maybe it will happen. But I would say the likelihood of it happening is not going to happen. And that is, now, bear with me because I probably will absolutely butcher this guy's name, Piero Hincapié. He reports were circulating today that Tottenham are reportedly considering a move for Bayer Leverkusen centre-back Piero Hincapié. He is a 20-year-old left-sided centre-back in a 2. He has had a decent campaign in the Bundesliga. But, again, like Vardiol, only arrived from an Argentinian side last summer. So again, Leverkusen under no real pressure to sell the guy, can command a decent fee. Again, he's young. I'm not sure this one will happen. I would call bullcrap on this one. I think what Spurs fans like to use that word smokescreen. Maybe potentially that's what that is. But look, guys, there you have it. That is your evening news roundup. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Over 400 in-house. Absolutely incredible numbers. Thank you, everyone who has put in your super chats to help support me. Put in your very nice comments as well, which has actually maybe helped calm down my nerves a little bit. As you can see, I got a lot better towards the end. But most importantly, if you want to see more of these, obliterate that like button. Drop a people's elbow on that subscribe button. And as always, come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust. And we will see you all back here tomorrow. Actually, one more thing. How bloody rude of me. Guys, if you want to engage with me, get your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me what you think on everything I've said here today. And I will respond. As I've been doing over the last couple of videos, anyone that has put in the comments know that. So, guys, get your comments in. But it is a massive help to everything we do here, and especially in terms of YouTube algorithm. Come on, you Spurs.